Hello everyone and welcome back. I'm Mr. Kovalt and in this video I'm going to go over another problem involving the use of a chemical formula as a conversion factor. And so again, I want to bring your attention to problems like this aren't done alone with just a conversion factor using your chemical formula. You might have to do other conversion factors which are going to include molar mass, as well. So molar mass is a very popular conversion factor to be using. So what I want to bring your attention to again is this superhighway roadmap that I have put on the board here. And what this highway is showing you is, or the roadmap is, it tells you how to get from one thing to another. So if the problem gives you a mass of one thing and wants moles of another thing, then it tells you how to get there. So I need to use the molar mass of A to convert grams of A to moles of A, and then I use a mole ratio between A and B. And the mole ratio is where our chemical formula is going to come in. And I've gone over one other problem with this, and I've gone over how to use the chemical formulas as conversion factors. So I'm going to show that in this problem. So this problem is definitely a lot simpler looking than the last problem I did. A lot less words, but this one is also equally complicated. Although it does give us grams, and then it's just determine the mass of oxygen. So and the mass would be in grams. So this is slightly more slightly simpler than the last one. So how do we attack this problem? In this problem, it's pretty straightforward. They're giving us a 7.2 gram sample. So they say determine the mass in grams of oxygen in a 7.2 gram sample of this substance here. Now, what is the name of this substance? You got to know this. So Al2SO4 parentheses 3, that is aluminum sulfate. So they're giving us a 7.2 gram sample of aluminum sulfate, and they want us to get the mass in grams of oxygen. So we got to start here. So that's going to be our starting point. So we have 7.2 grams of our sample, which is aluminum sulfate, SO4 3, and we're going to put that over 1. Okay, so we're in grams. So the problem, it gives us grams of one thing, and they want grams of another thing. So our A is going to be aluminum sulfate, our B is going to be oxygen. So here's where we're starting because they gave us grams this time. So we're on the highway already, right? Last time they gave us like gallons. So we had to first convert gallons to grams, and then we had to follow the roadmap. So here we're already on the map, so it's going to tell us what to do. So I need to go from grams to moles. So I need to use the molar mass of my substance here. So the molar mass, and again, you're going to calculate the molar mass by adding up all of the atomic masses of the atoms in our compound. So you need to go ahead and do that. I already did that, so I'm going to look up what I have, and that's going to be, actually I didn't do it, so let's do that together. So let's see, so aluminum has, okay, I am back with the calculation. So here we have the molar mass of aluminum sulfate is going to be 342.14 grams of this substance, aluminum sulfate. and that's equal to 1 mole of that substance. So we are going to use that as our conversion factor. So I have grams of the aluminum sulfate on the top, so I want to have grams on the bottom. So 342.14 grams of aluminum sulfate, SO4 okay, and then 1 mole of the aluminum sulfate on top. And so the grams of aluminum sulfate cancel out. Now I have moles of aluminum sulfate. So now I've gone from mass to moles, but I need to get the mass here, so I still have to go this step here. So I want to go from moles of my aluminum sulfate to moles of B, which is oxygen. So now I'm going to use the mole ratio, and that mole ratio comes from the formula. So if I look at the formula, I want oxygen. So what is the ratio of one of these to oxygen? So we have to pay attention to the subscript on the outside of the parentheses. So everything on the inside is multiplied by 3. So I have 4 oxygens on the inside. So that means 3 times 4 gives me 12 oxygens. So for every one of these, so I have 12 oxygen atoms, which means that for every 1 mole of these, I'm going to have 12 moles of oxygen. So the ratio is 1 to 12. So I can use that to convert from aluminum sulfate to oxygen. So 1 mole of the aluminum sulfate is going to be equal to 12 moles of oxygen. And so now the moles of my aluminum sulfate cancel out. Now I have moles of oxygen, which is my B. So now I'm right here. So now I can go from moles of B to mass of B using the molar mass of oxygen. So the molar mass of oxygen is 16. So for every 1 mole of oxygen atoms, I have 16.00 grams of oxygen atoms. And now moles of oxygen cancel out, and I have 16.00. So I have grams on the top now. That's what they're asking for, grams of oxygen. So now I am finished. So no more conversion factors. At this point is just calculating my answer. So now I'm just going to multiply across the top and divide by the bottom. So I take my 7.2, divide that by, I'm multiplying. So I'm going to 7.2 multiplied by 12, multiply that by 16.00, and now I'm going to divide. So I'm going to skip the ones, divide by 342.14, and then the rest are ones, so I don't need to worry about that, equals, and I get 4, so the answer then becomes 4045, and it's grams of oxygen. And so my calculator spits out more than these digits, but this is enough. Now I need to decide what number of significant figures am I allowed to have. So I have to go back to the numbers I multiplied and divided. Remember, the rule is that if you multiply and divide, that your answer should have the same number of sig figs as the least number of sig figs in the measures that you used. So I have 2 sig figs here, I have 5 here, And this is 1 to 2. That is a ratio. That is a mole ratio. That is exact. So 1 to 12 is an exact relationship. So I can ignore that. And then this molar mass is not exact. That's a measure. So I have 4 there. So 4, 5, 2. So 2 is the least of these. So I'm going to cut it off after 2 sig figs. So 4 and 0. So the answer is 4.0 grams of oxygen atoms. And so that's the answer. And so again, we were able to use the conversion highway as a roadmap to go from one place to another. So this is again a very useful roadmap, and also you can build off of this as well, because there are going to be times where they're not going to give you grams, they're going to give you something else. And so you can still convert until you get onto the highway, and then the highway will tell you where to go. Okay. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope this was helpful. If you like this video, go ahead and like it, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, make a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you think, and if you have any questions, let me know. And hit the notification bell, so that way you can get more notifications of when I put out more videos. Thanks for joining me, and have a good time. Have a nice day. See you next time.